Yes, we have studied management as an art. Now we'll see management as an science. So before that, we'll try to understand what actually science is. What is science? A way to answer questions and solve problems. Okay. How we understand the world around us. A way or process used to investigate what is happening around you. Okay. The goal of science deals only with the natural world to collect and organize the data, process explanations that can be tested. So when we say science, physics, chemistry, biology, so many things are there, so many disciplines. Mathematics is there. Question, and we always study how to answer them. We are trying to understand the world around us. Okay, it's a way, it's a process used to investigate what is happening around us. There are certain principles over here. We are following them to understand the world around us, how to test, how to solve the problems. Okay. Yes, management as a science. Management is the broad study of problem solving and decision making, okay, in human organizations with strong links of economics, business, and engineering. It uses various scientific research based on principles, strategies, and analytical theories to improve a firm's ability to enact a meaningful management decisions by arriving at optimal or near optimal solutions to complex decision problems. Okay, in very simple and short way, management sciences help businesses to achieve goals through various scientific methods. Okay, achieve goals. You arrive at so many problems. So you try to apply certain strategies to solve them. You may come across economics, business, engineering. You use various scientific researches based on certain principles. You frame your strategies. Ultimately, what to reach the goal. Okay. So, management as a science. Science is a systematic body of knowledge which is universally accepted. According to F.W. Taylor, father of scientific management, was perhaps the first person to consider management as a science. So we'll be studying about the principles of F.W. Taylor further in our further videos. So, in short, I have taken out certain points about Taylor's principles. First one, study the way workers perform their task. Understand the job knowledge that workers have. Okay. First you are saying that study the way the workers perform, how they are performing. Second one is understand what type of knowledge they have, what job knowledge they have. Third one, find ways to improve how tasks are to be performed. You have to find solutions, how they can be performed at their best. Give written work rules. This is very important. No oral instructions. Always the instructions and orders should be in written. Hire workers who have skills and abilities needed for your task. That's why so many interviews, tests are conducted. Why? That particular jobs require that talented workers only. So you see whether that person has that skill and knowledge to perform that job, then only you hire that person. Next, train workers. The person may have that knowledge, but now you have to train them as per your organization, as per your goal, as per your path. So, train workers to perform according to the established procedures. Establish a level of performance acceptable and fair linked to a good pay system. Okay, good pay system. So these are the principles framed by F.W. Taylor. So we try to understand management as an art and management as an science. Now we'll see the differences. We'll compare what is arts and how it is science. Art based on practice and creativity, whether science based on experimentation. It is theoretical body of knowledge. It is systemized body of knowledge. Has personalized application, has universal application. Okay, this is how we compare arts and science. Yes, one more question in front of us. Is management art and science both? Management is science because it is universally accepted principles. It has universally accepted principles. It has cause and effect relationship, and at the same time it is art because it requires perfection through practice, practical knowledge, creativity and personal skills and etc. Okay. So the same thing I have just tried to show you in a picture wise. Is management an art or science? So in art we have practical knowledge, there we have concepts, here we have personal skills, their methods and principles. Here you'll be having creativity and there you have theories, perfection through practice and their organized knowledge. So this is goal oriented and that is practice. Okay, so we have been studying whether management is an art or science, but in actual way we feel that it is both. All these concepts, all these ideas, all these principles are required for a perfect management of an organization. Just another picture where it says human brain, it's both art and science. Everywhere both the applications are to be used integrated. Okay, so let's draw a conclusion for this, that is management is both art and science. According to American Society of Mechanical Engineers, management is an art and science of preparing, organizing and directing human efforts to control the forces and utilize the material of nature for the benefit of men. Management has got two faces like a coin. One side of it is art and on the other side it is science. Management is a mixture of an art and science. The present ratio is about 80% art and 20% science, says Dean Stanley. Okay, so there are different theories, different methods of understanding. We have studied so many things about being an art or science. So in current situation, maximum is creativity and how you expose them based on certain principles and practices. So management is both science and art. Okay, so let us proceed for the next need. Yes, management as a profession. So what is profession? A profession is a disciplined group of individuals who adhere to ethical standards and who hold themselves out as and are accepted by the public as possessing special knowledge and skills in a widely recognized body of learning derived from research and education and training at a high level, and who are prepared to apply this knowledge and exercise these skills in the interest of others. Professional person, we say. He is a person, a group of individuals, that is a group of professionals. Who are they? The society considers, or they are the person who have certain ethical standards, who have lots of knowledge, who have been trained at a very high level, who have possessed the skills, they have done lots of research, they have got lots of education, training, and who are prepared to apply this knowledge into their organization to achieve the goals. So management as a profession, this is what is a profession means. So is management a profession? Yes, of course. Every manager should be a professional manager. How is that? We'll see here. So management as a profession, over a large few decades, factors such as growing size of business unit, separation of ownership from management, growing competition, etc. have led to an increased demand for professionally qualified managers. The task of manager has been quite specialized. As a result of these developments, the management has reached a stage where everything is to be managed professionally. Currently, the businesses are growing, the competition is growing, the owner is different, and the person who is managing the business is different. So, when the owner wants his company or his organization to succeed, he requires a very good manager for his organization. So, ultimately, he looks for a manager who has all the skills, has the knowledge, has the education, and he is trained at a high level. Okay. So, management as a profession. So, here we study here a profession may be defined as an occupation that requires specialized knowledge and intensive academic preparations to which entry is regulated by a representative body. Okay, the essentials. What are the essentials for being a professional? Existence of knowledge, acquisition of knowledge, professional association, ethical codes, and service motive. We'll study these one by one. Existence of knowledge. Management has been developed as a distinct body of knowledge over the last 5 to 6 decades. The development of knowledge in management field has been due to the need for managing complex and large organizations in a better way. Thus, management satisfies the requirement of a profession in the form of existence of knowledge. Okay, as we have studied, every organization want to succeed has its own goal. So to reach that, the existence of knowledge within the managers is must. Acquisition of knowledge. A profession is one who practices a profession and is regarded as an expert since he has mastery of a specific branch of learning upon which his occupation is based, so that he may offer service to his client. Okay, so professional, we are saying, who is a professional who has been working in the same field from many days, who has experience in that particular field, so that he can give best service to his clients. Management graduates are put in a better performance in the organization because of their familiarity with the various techniques of management. So, a person who has attained the degree of management, any type of management, MBA, any different disciplines within the business management, we have human resource management, we have financial management, we have marketing management. So a person who has a degree of MBA or any higher degree in the management is familiar with all the techniques of management. So a manager with such degree is more professional when compared to others in the management of an organization. Okay. Yeah, we have different associations. So what is this professional association? A professional association consists of firms and individuals whose membership is based on common professional, scientific or technical. The representative body of professionals is needed to regulate and develop the professional activities. For example, in India, there is an All India Management Association. like that we have different technical or professions associations. CA association we have, engineers association we have, medical association we have. Managers do not belong to a single unified professional group like Indian Medical Council for medical practitioners or Bar Council of India for legal practitioners. Managers do not belong to a single unified professional group, we say. So who are these managers? If you are managing a company, organization, you are manager of a business organization. If you are managing a hospital, you are a manager of a hospital. So like that, a manager will be associated with many other technical fields. Okay. For every profession, some ethical standards are provided, and every individual of the profession is expected to maintain conformity with these standards. The need for ethical code arises because of the fact that occupations whose practitioners have mastery over an area of knowledge have a degree of power by virtue of their expertise, and this power can be used for the benefit of the professionals at the cost of the society. In management, a code of conduct has been formulated to suggest the behavioral pattern of professional managers. It is their duty to protect the interest of all parties associated with an organization. These parties may be customers, suppliers, employees, financiers, creditors, government, and general public. So ethical codes, we know the meaning. All of us know what are ethics. Every person should have certain ethics. But who are the managers? These are the persons who are dealing with various resources, including the major resource, that is a human resource. They are working with the human resources. They have to take their group towards their goal. So in such case, every manager should have the ethical code of conduct. Why? He is dealing with various number of peoples. It may be a customer, he has to satisfy the customer. There are financiers, there are creditors, government is there, general public is there. So he comes across various groups of people. And moreover that he has his own team where he has to move towards his goal. So a manager, not only professional, he should have ethical codes also. Yeah, service motive. This is one such nature which applies to every field, every individual. So here you see, ethical code provides the behavior pattern for professions, while service motive concept suggests that professionals should keep social interest in their mind while charging fee for their professional service. Management is an integrated agency and it contributes in the society by way of integrating various resources into productive units, is very important for the stability of the society. This contribution of management cannot be measured in terms of money because without integrating efforts of management, resources worth millions of rupees may be useless. Okay, service motive. Ethics means it gives us the behavioral pattern. You have to behave like this. Services, you're going to consider the social aspect within your work. While reaching your goal, you should also have a concern about the social. Okay. So these are all about the management as a profession. So let us study now the last point, last nature of management, that is universality of management. The concept suggests that transmission of management knowledge may be undertaken by managers from an industrially developed country working in developing country. by people from developing country coming to study and work in industrially advanced country and returning back to their own country. Through training and development programs for managers in a developing country. So what are all these things? We are learning. It's still a learning process also. We are learning from our developed countries. We are taking training from them. We are going there studying and come back towards the development of our country. Thus, managerial knowledge can be transferred from one person to another person, from one firm to another firm in the same country, and from one country to another country. This transferability is meaningful only when it has universal application. So as we all see that training takes place, education takes place from the same country, one area to another area, or from one country to another country. But when this training, when this education is applicable or success is when the application is same in both the different areas, okay, both different countries. If the application is same, then only it will be worked. Okay, so these are all the nature of management. We have studied 6 different types of nature of management. So till now, regarding the management, we have studied the meaning, the definition, concept of management, features of management, and now in this nature of management we have studied. In that, most important is whether the management is an art or science, whether it's a profession. Okay. So thank you guys. We'll meet in our next video where I'll be explaining about the importance of management. Thank you.